everyone, and welcome to Bible Verse Breakdown. If this is your first time, make sure to subscribe because we do come out with new verse breakdowns from time to time, and it's important that, we discuss and try to understand what God is really trying to tell us through His Word, because as we've looked at in this channel, it actually opens our eyes to all different kinds of things. So without further ado, let's get into the verse for today. Today we'll be looking at 1 John chapter 2 verse 15, which reads, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." Now we'll also consider verses 16 and 17, of course, which read, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but it is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever." So let me use a very simple, story in the scriptures to just make this idea of loving the world very simple. So if you look at the story of Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 3 from verses 1 to 6, the apple was like the world. Essentially, God told them, eat whatever you want in this entire garden, but don't eat that fruit. And, they must have complied with that for a while. Right? It wasn't appealing to them at that moment. But then a third party, Satan the devil, he came in and told Eve about that apple. It wasn't that she had a note about it. It's just Satan was trying to make her look at it in a different perspective. A perspective where it would be appealing. So that was what Satan did in the Garden of Eden. He made Eve think about the fruit in a way that made her say, "Oh, why don't I go eat it? Seems good. If it's going to give me knowledge, why wouldn't I want knowledge?" So the world is kind of like that. For those who understand God, the world is just physical. And you use the things of the world, be it money or the educational system, to enhance your service to God. But when we don't know God or we don't think spiritually, then we'll begin to see the world as very appealing. We begin to worship the things in the world. We begin to use the world to think and reason. That's what St. Paul called being a natural man in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. And our very first verse breakdown happens to be about that verse. So essentially, when we love the world, then the things of the world become very important. More important than serving God. And as John the Apostle said there, when we love the world, the love of the Father is not in us. They're on two completely different sides, according to Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, James chapter 4, verse 4, and many other places in the scriptures. St. Paul, for example, was someone who did not love the world. As he admitted in Acts chapter 20 from verses 33 to 35, he didn't covet people's silver or gold. He didn't feel that love or attraction to things of the world as some other people, like his fellow worker Demas did. Demas worked along with St. Paul, according to 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 11. But because of his love for this world, he was attracted to what was going on. And because being a minister and, preaching the gospel doesn't allow you to really get much into those things of the world, he couldn't help it anymore. So he forsook St. Paul, and then he went to Thessalonica where he could maybe, get a little more into the world. So you see how, because he had the love for this world, it was now impossible to really love God properly. If you look at Abraham, he was also someone who didn't love the world. He was a very, very, very rich man. He was kind of like Job. Job is another example. Both of them, their riches didn't affect their lives. Sure, they could live a little wealthy, they had the good things of life. It's just that didn't change the way they think. They didn't now think proud, their riches didn't affect them. It didn't change who they were. They were still righteous. God was still most important, no matter how much wealth they acquired. So what I'm trying to say here, in other words, is that the world is physical, and we can have things of the world. We can, acquire as much as we want, but we can't now use the world to live our lives. The world should be the world, and we should use it to enhance our relationship with God, according to Luke chapter 16, verse 9, which is another one of our verse breakdowns. Both of them are linked in the description below. And that is where I'm going to stop on discussing that verse, 1 John chapter 2, verse 15, which once again reads, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell because, as I said in the beginning, we do come out with new verse breakdowns from time to time, and I encourage us to all take time to study the scriptures and try to understand what each individual verse means, because they all come together to mean one important package, which we can use to understand what's happening in our time. Have a great day, and God bless you.